Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. I'm back at it again, man. Listen, we have quite a bit to discuss. Salute and respect to everybody listening to me, no matter where you're listening to me from. I'm excited. I am excited. New York Jets have an upcoming game against the Giants, fresh off of a bye week. We're going to be discussing that. We're also going to be discussing some things that Robert Saleh said to the media as well. We also have a great guest, a representative of the Susie G. Komen Foundation coming on. I am hyped, okay? I'm excited. I'm ready to go. Callers will get to y'all in a second. Mike, Ted, everybody. We're going to get to everybody. Rusty, salutes. I have so much fire tonight, and I'm ready to go. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Your boy's also, okay, on iTunes as well, for those of you that do not know. Go on iTunes. The show's, formatted into the podcast over there. Going over to iTunes, type in The Long Beach Joe Show, The Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes. Subscribe to the podcast. Leave me a 5-star rating and leave me some comments. Give me some good feedback, all right? Helps the show get out there. And I want to thank everybody that does that, okay? Your boy's also on Twitter as well. Go on over to Twitter. Type in at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. It's the show's page. Go ahead, give it a follow, and, let your boy know what's up. Talk to me. I'll talk about the team. Some people hit me up and just want me to talk to them about their life. They want advice. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about it. All right, cool. I'll give you some advice. Some people say I give great advice, great life advice. So go ahead and, hit your boy up on there. Again, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. Personal Twitter page is at YoungJ000. Okay? And also, for those of you that may not know, some people stumble and fall into the show various ways, okay? And again, I want to salute to my overseas audience as well. People hit me up from Australia and the Middle East and all over the place, UK, London, saying, Joe, we listen to you. Friends from Canada, Joe, we listen to you out here. And you know how we do it? I say, how do you guys catch me? They go, we watch you on YouTube, man. For those of you that do not know, your boy's live on YouTube, okay? We stream the show live on YouTube. Come on over to YouTube. Type in Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube, okay? Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. And give the videos and streams a thumbs up, A lot of people saying, Joe, you look amazing, man. A lot of the ladies out there saying, Joe, you're handsome. I didn't know you were handsome. I just listened to the show because I like the show, like your takes, love the callers, love the energy you bring, love how you know what you need to know about this football team, love your fandom. But, wow, you're a good-looking man. And I want to thank you, ladies, okay? I'm not arrogant. I'm not cocky. I'm just working with what I got. I appreciate you, okay? And I thank you for appreciating me, all right? All right? That's what I'm all about around here. Love, spreading the love to everybody, okay? So, again, YouTube, Long Beach Joe Jets, Long Beach Joe Jets, all right? Come on by and see what's going on and what we got happening over here. By the way, when you come over here, okay, just know you're going to have to deal with the chat. I'll call my chat the Savages. You want to know why? Because they're savage. Listen. The Savages are out of control, within reason, but they are out of control, all right? They get after everybody. If they don't like your take, if they don't like what you got to say, trust, they're going to let you know. Salutes to Bree. Bree's watching me from overseas as well. Salutes to you as well. Todd, I see you in the building. Michael, all the Savages out there, I see you, all right? Listen, don't get crazy with them. If they don't like what you bring to the table, they're going to let you know about it, all right? Nobody's safe. Nobody is safe from the Savages. Not even me. Not even me, okay? So check your boy out on all those platforms. Again, YouTube, Long Beach Joe Jets. Get involved with what we're doing over here. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And, again, share it across your social media with your friends and your family. So we got quite a bit to talk about tonight, and we're going to get to everything, all right? We're going to get to everybody on the lines as well. Hold on a second, because for those of you that do not know, your boy is wearing pink. If you're not watching me live on YouTube, I've got that pink on. You want to know why? Because I am a supporter of breast cancer awareness and the fight against breast cancer, okay? And everyone knows as well that I am a big supporter of the Susie G. Komen Foundation, okay? I love what they do over there. I love how they're handling things, and I love all the breast cancer awareness that they spread. And tonight, we are going to have a guest come on, Miss Laurel Pointer. She's going to come on tonight and talk to us about the Susie G. Komen Foundation, what they do over there, and how they help out all the people that are dealing with breast cancer. Laurel, I want to welcome you to the Long Beach Joe Show. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Listen, it's wonderful to have you on the show and speak with you. Can you please tell my audience what you do for the Susie G. Komen Foundation?
Sure. I am the Senior Manager of Marketing Operations for the organization.
Okay. How important, with everything you do with marketing and how you get the word out there, what are some of the issues that you may run into trying to spread breast cancer awareness and urging people to get involved?
I think a lot of it is people see the pink ribbon and they're like, great, it's out there. We see it all the time. Everybody's aware of breast cancer. And then they don't worry about the next steps that they need to take to actually make sure that they're being screened for breast cancer. And if they are screened and we see something, that they take those next steps, whether it's, an extra mammogram or whether it's actually having to have treatment because you have been diagnosed. There are lots of factors in it. It's not just about the awareness. We want to figure out a way to end breast cancer so nobody ever has to deal with it again.
Exactly, Laurel. So how important is early detection in that whole process? Can you break that down for my listeners as well?
Sure. So it's really important. So if it is confined to the breast, it is 95% treatable on most instances. It's when it's caught at a later stage and it's progressed that it's harder to detect. And then this is where we really run into some issues with men and about their breast cancer because they're usually not as aware, not as perceptive about the fact that they need to be screened as well. And so we run into that a lot.
Yeah. And again, we're speaking with Mrs. Laurel Pointer of the Susie G. Komen Foundation. Now, you spoke a little bit about men not understanding that breast cancer affects them. Can you speak to some of the hurdles that you kind of run into when trying to reach men and even some of the stigmas that are surrounded around men getting breast cancer as well?
Well, sure. A lot of it is it's perceived as a woman's disease because when you think of breast, you usually think of women. You forget the fact that men do have breasts as well, and so that they are at risk. And then you also look at the fact that when you go into a mammography center, they're full of women. If there are men in there on occasion, it's usually because they're with a female. They're not there for themselves. And plus, men have to get over the fact that if they're there to be screened, they're going to have to deal with things in a lot of places that cater to women, like having pink gowns or having a dressing room that, is usually reserved for women. And there's now men in there, so you have to play that game in some instances of making sure the women aren't around or that the men can have another private area because it's usually, the perception is it's there for women. But men also need to be screened as well.
Yeah. Absolutely, they do, and this is something that I'm constantly pushing with my listeners as well. Listen, men, this is not just a disease that only affects women. It can absolutely affect you as well. Now, Laurel, you've given us such great information so far. Can you let my audience know how they can get involved with the Susie G. Komen Foundation, where they can find information, and also how can they give, how can they donate to continue to feed the cause of spreading breast cancer awareness and, again, fighting against this awful disease?
Sure. And before we do that, I do want to give a couple more points to the men, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So another thing that men need to be aware of, with women, there are about 297,000 cases of invasive breast cancer that are diagnosed each year. For men this year, we're looking at about 2,800 cases, but of those, 530 will die from the disease. And it's usually because they are, they're at a slower rate to go and to get screened. They're at a slower rate to talk to their doctor about it. And so by the time we do diagnose it within men, that survival rate is lower because it's a later stage diagnosis. Where men really need to be aware is with their family history. And within women, 40% of breast cancer, within women, 5 to 10% of breast cancers are related to heredity and to a genetic mutation, such as the BRCA2 mutation. So a lot of women, it's only 5 to 10%, but it's 40% in men. So men really need to pay attention to their family history. If they have a mom, a sister, a grandmother, or somebody who has had breast cancer, talk to them. Find out the history. Find out if you do have that genetic mutation or if you need to go get tested for that mutation. Because just because your mom or sister had it doesn't necessarily mean you have the mutation, but there is a greater chance.
Wow. That's great information there. And again, that continues to drive home the point, Laurel, and this is why I have wonderful people like you come on the show in this month of October, and this is why I'm wearing pink. Men, go out there and get checked. Get checked. It's not just a woman's disease. Of course, all of my ladies listening as well, get yourself checked as well. But men, go out there and get yourself checked. This is something that absolutely affects you. And again, early detection is key. Early detection is key. All of the stats and the numbers that Laurel just brought up shows, hey, get yourself checked out, because if you don't and you're waiting, things can happen. So make sure that you know your body. Get yourself checked. Go out. Get your doctor involved. Get your physical. Constantly make sure that you know what's going on with your body. And again, Laurel, I want to thank you for bringing that information to the table. How can my listeners get involved with the Susie G. Komen Foundation?
Yeah, it's really simple. If you go to Komen.org, which that's KOMEN.org, there's a tab on there that says Get Involved. And there you can find out all the different ways that you can get involved, whether you want to get involved in advocacy, whether you want to get involved with your community, whether you want to get involved with fundraising. We've got all those ways there. There's another thing that you can also, if you have questions about your breast health or if you have concerns, you can call our 800 number, which is 877-GO-KOMEN. And we have a helpline set up to where they can talk to you. They can walk you through either, helping you find out where to go get screened or where to have that conversation with your doctor. They can provide you with the questions to ask and to ask your doctor. And then at that point, they can also help you if you are diagnosed. They can walk you through that treatment plan and how to get the resources and treatment that you need.
Yes. And again, we're speaking with Laura Pointer of the Susie G. Komen Foundation. This has been a phenomenal time speaking with you, Laura. And I know we talk about the Susie G. Komen Foundation. I'm excited about what you folks do, and you've given us so much information. But, we're a Jet show as well, Laura. Okay, we're a Jet show.
Yes.
And that's what we do here. We love this team through and through. And what's crazy is you have a connection to the New York Jets. I hear you have a special connection with Mr. Solomon Thomas, okay, one of the Jets' great defensive linemen. Can you tell us about your connection with him?
I do. My husband actually coached Solly in high school. So he played for my husband. Yeah.
Yeah, give us a story. Give us some funny stories. I want to hear about this.
Oh, gosh, I love Solomon. And, I love his fierce competitiveness on and off the field, but he's also so gentle. And when he first started playing in middle school, he will even tell you the stories about he would knock somebody down, and then he'd pick him up and apologize. And so we got to know the fact of, yes, but he was in middle school, and he was big, and he was tough. And we could see that, change throughout the years. And in high school, it was so fun to watch him on Friday nights because I could watch that light switch. He's Solomon, he's sweet, he's awesome, You know, he's somebody you want to be around all the time. And you knew that the minute that clock was ready to start for kickoff, you could see that switch and you could see him go into full beast mode. And then the minute the clock hit zero, you know, he was back. So, and it's been so much fun watching him on Hard Knocks this year. Yes, I actually did watch Hard Knocks and watch all about the Jets, so I've learned a lot. So, so it's really been fun to see him and some of his teammates featured in that.
Yes, listen, I watched that as well. It was phenomenal to see the Jets go out there doing their thing. But like you said, listen, Solomon Thomas, that man is a monster, okay? When it's time to go, and he's out there on the field, he's putting on and making great plays for the New York Jets. Listen, Laurel, I want to thank you again for coming on the show tonight, spreading all of the information about the Susie G. Komen Foundation, and also that great story about Solomon. Before I let you go, can you please, again, give all of my listeners all of the information on how they can get involved with the Susie G. Komen Foundation and how they can learn about what's going on with breast cancer?
Yes, absolutely. It's Komen.org. That's KOMEN.org. On there, you can find breast health information and breast cancer screening and treatment information, as well as ways to get involved and ways to fundraise, because, you know, we need that money in order to support our 360-degree approach to fighting breast cancer through research, through providing care, through community, and for taking action through our advocacy program. So you can do it through Komen.org or 877-GO-KOMEN.
Listen, Laurel, I want to thank you again for coming on tonight and giving us all the great information and for your great stories as well. Thank you for coming on. You have yourself a good night.
My pleasure, and go Jets.
Absolutely. You already know it. Listen, what a great interview there with Mrs. Laurel Pointer of the Susie G. Komen Foundation. Again, I want to thank her for coming on. As everyone know, I am a big advocate. If you don't know, you don't see me live. I'm wearing pink here, okay? It's October. It's all about spreading breast cancer awareness, okay? We're doing that, and we're also spreading, doing whatever we can do. Again, I have a donation page as well. You can check in the description of the video. It's also in the chat, too. That money goes directly to the Susie G. Komen Foundation. We're just trying to raise, a couple bucks. Please go in there, give $1, $2. Anything you can give is greatly appreciated, all right? Please, we're trying to do whatever we can to eradicate this awful disease, all right? That's what we're all about. So now that we've moved on from that, okay, now we got to discuss, okay, New York Jets. We got a game coming up against the Giants quickly. All right, we're going to get to all the callers, Mike, Ted, Rusky, everybody. I see you all. We're coming to you in a second. Tim, Phenom, 917. We're coming to everybody, okay? We got a game coming up against the Giants here. We've got to take care of business, all right? I need Zach to come out and play clean, all right? I need him to play clean. We're coming out of a bye week. I'm a little concerned. We know the New York Jets have a history of coming out of bye weeks and kind of being sluggish, right? We got to fight that off. This is a team that they may not be super great, but they're hungry, and we know that they want to continue to get themselves wins on this season. Zach's got to come out and be clean. I'm a little concerned about this offensive line. We'll see what's going on with Joe Tippmann. He's still dealing with the injury. Sulla says that they'll know more about that on Wednesday. They also spoke to Sulla as well about Dwayne Brown. He's coming off of the IR this week, for those of you that may not know. Dwayne Brown better not be shoved back into the starting lineup for this New York Jets football team. I'm sorry. I do not want to see him come out and be handed the Jets starting left tackle position again like he was in the offseason. We saw, Dwayne Brown, veteran guy, put him on the bench, allow Mekhi Becton to continue to play out there at left tackle. He's been doing a good job. Let's allow him to continue to do that. Let's figure out, what's going on. Max Mitchell's on the right side. He needs to get better, all right? He needs to clean some things up over there. But I'm also worried about, the right guard spot, especially with Joe Tippmann still dealing with that thigh injury. We might end up seeing Wes Switzer, if he's not going to be ready to go. But I don't want to see Dwayne Brown shoved back into the starting line. We'll be talking about that tonight as well. And this Giants defensive front, they are not a game. Dexter Lawrence, serious business, okay? Leonard Williams, we know. He used to be a Jet. He's a guy that can push the pocket. They also got Kayvon as well, Kayvon Thibodeau, Listen, Kayvon got 5 sacks on the season so far. This guy's moving. We got to make sure we get these guys blocked up front. Don't want Zach running for his life, and getting hit and beat up and stuff like that. Running the football, I think, is extremely important. We got to get the ball to Breece Hall. And I think this is the game we should also get the tight ends involved, too. They got some backers, man. Bobby O'Craze, this guy's pretty good in this league. We got to make sure that we, get the ball to C.J. Uzomah, get the ball to Tyler Conklin, let Jeremy Rucker go out there. The Giants also got some injuries as well in their secondary. Dory Jackson, he's dealing with a neck injury. So we got to, maybe we can take some shots at Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, Xavier Gibson. We know Mecole Hardman is gone. So Xavier Gibson, I want to see what his role in the offense is going to be coming out of this bye week. Is it going to be expanded? But, man, they got Jason Pinnock, who's turned into a really good safety. He used to be a Jet. He turned into a solid safety in this league, so we got to be careful. And they also got Trey Hawkins, who might be out there if Dory Jackson doesn't play. Again, Dory Jackson dealing with the neck injury to this point. The Jets' defense, right? DJ Reed, Sauce Gardner still in the concussion protocol. What's going on, right? Gets later in the week, you start to get worried. Maybe we might not see the Jets with them again this upcoming week. I don't know. They haven't been cleared just yet, okay? So that's a possibility. So the Jets might be moving and shaking some things around again. At corner, we might see Breece Hall back out there, and some other guys too. And especially, again, man, listen, this Giants team, they're building some threats. We know that Daniel Jones, he's dealing with a neck injury. I think he's still questionable for the game. So we might see Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor provides kind of a different threat, right? We know he's mobile. We got to keep our eyes on that, all right? This guy can get outside the pocket and he can move. We got to get pressure on him. We know the Giants' offensive line is beat up. Andrew Thomas is dealing with the injury. So is Michael Schmitz as well. He's dealing with the injury too. Evan Neal is also dealing with the injury. That's their starting left tackle, center, and right tackle. So we'll see what's going on going forward. This Jets pass rush has got to get all over whoever is going to be the starter. I'm thinking more than likely it's going to be Tyrod. But do not overrun Tyrod. Oh, boy, we're going to be in some problems. We've seen it in the past. I remember when we played Denver. Yes, we beat them this year, but remember that game where Russell Wilson was continuously moving the chains using his feet. So we've got to, get our pressure, but be careful. And also, again, especially without if DJ Reed and Sauce doesn't play, listen, Jalen Hyatt is pretty darn good, okay? I remember talking about him coming out of the draft, Tennessee kid. Him and Tillman, to me, were really good wide receivers coming out of Tennessee this year, and he is a big play threat. This guy is speed, all right? I'm talking big speed. If you don't watch it, you'll get cooked. And, of course, last but not least, Saquon Barkley, all right? If he's out there, we have to watch it, too. This is a guy that can run the ball, all right? This guy that can get after it again. He's dealing with the injury, too. I think it's an elbow injury. But the last time that he was talking about the elbow injury, it seemed like it really wasn't going to affect him, but we'll see. All right, if he plays, more than likely he will play. We know what Saquon brings to the table. So we're going to get to the callers. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. All the callers on the line, trust, we'll get to everybody. Be patient. We're going to cycle through. We got quite a bit of callers. We're going to get to everyone. Again, new callers, okay, when you call in, please do not curse on my show. It's the only thing I don't allow. Don't curse and don't scream over me, all right? Because if you curse on my show, I'm telling you, I'm going to get you out of here fast. I'm talking fast. Faster than we got Mecole Hardman out of here. That was fast. That was fast. Was it too early for that joke? It was fast. We got him out of here pretty fast, right? It was fast. I don't want to hear, listen, this whole Xavier Gibson thing is phenomenal. I love the young kid, but you should be able to utilize more than just one weapon, all right? He's out of here, though. He was fast, all right? Please give the stream a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know, all right? Also, share the stream and the videos across your social media with your friends and your family. So, first call I'm going to get to is my guy, Mike. Mike, we're coming directly to you, all right? We got to talk to Mike. Mike,
how are you, sir?
For those of you that do not know, Mike is a he is a Jets fan, but he's also Mike salutes. Listen, we're going into this game against the New York Giants. We know, okay? Technically, we're at their house, but we all play at MetLife, so home field advantage is whatever here. But here we are coming out of a bye week. How concerned are you about the New York Jets coming out flat?
First of all, I agreed with everything you said. In the recap of on the the process to the game. I'm worried that it's a trap game. Maybe it's a typical Jet letdown, right? They have a huge win, and over the years, this would be a typical game for them to just, they always play up to the competition or down to the competition. Maybe, hopefully not so much this year, but over the past years, I think you'd agree with that. One other comment that I would like to say is that I think Hull on defense needs to be in on every, just about every play. And really, Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson should be, both, anytime they're running the ball. I mean, don't take Breece Hall off the field. I don't think he ever needs a breather, in my view. And Garrett Wilson, although they do go to Garrett Wilson a lot. Those would be, my three go-to guys. I mean, Huff has been, what a surprise, and I think the guy's just doing tremendous. And of course, we know what Breece Hall and we know what Garrett Wilson is, and what they do. I just get surprised sometimes when, Breece, sorry. I just get surprised sometimes when they mix in Cook, and I get it, you want to mix it up, but I think the guy's got he's got so much talent, he's got so much more. Those would be my go-to people.
No, absolutely. Listen, Breece Hall, we've got to get the ball in his hands, and I think it would be a great week as well to utilize Garrett Wilson heavily, make sure that we get the ball to him early and often. But my first question for you, Mike, is what are your expectations for Zach Wilson, right? He's coming out of a bye. We've had, quite a bit of time to get ready for the Giants. A lot of people have been on Zach's back. He was able to get some things going, made some positive strides. What are you expecting Zach to do against this Giants team? Like, what are your keys to victory for him?
He's just the key to the victory for the Jets. They've got to play outstanding defense. They've got to play above average special teams. And Zach specifically has got to be a game manager. Don't ask him to do too much. A lot of run balls, some screens, some quick slants. And I agree with you. Get the tight ends involved. Go with a shorter passing game. And then once in a while, throw the long ball to Garrett Wilson. That would be my thing, but you just want to make sure he hasn't been throwing interceptions, and he's been a good game manager, and I think that's what you should expect, and that's the approach that they should have to take. I do want to bring up one thing to get your opinion on it, if I may. What about? I'm going to butcher this guy's name. Is it the first round draft pick from Iowa State? Is it Will McDonough?
Will McDonald.
McDonald. Yeah, I'm sorry. What he's got like one tackle. I mean, I don't understand what's going on.
No, listen. He's been deactivated for a little bit. He has been playing in games. They have been utilizing him sparingly. I think that they're going to try to continue to work him in. Listen, this pass rush of the New York Jets we know for start the season was kind of up and down, right? No sacks. I think they had like one sack against the Cowboys. They weren't getting enough pressure at first, right? But again, ever since we saw them pick up, they played great against the Philadelphia Eagles. We saw them get after Patrick Mahomes as well to turn things around. I think they'll continue to mix him in and, try to get his feel and get him going again. He's a rookie. We got to keep in mind, he's a rookie. They're working him in. But I tell you what, Bryce Huff, Jermaine Johnson, boy, oh boy, they've been bringing it, especially Bryce Huff. We'll find a way to get him resigned, okay?
Agreed. Agreed. But the only thing that I have is we're 5.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. We're 5 games in, one tackle. Something just doesn't seem right to me. Is it? I don't know. Is it? Who was the guy we got from Ohio State?
Mike, it's our rotation. Our rotation is monstrous. A lot of people don't keep that in mind. Our rotation is monstrous. Bryce Huff, Jermaine Johnson. We got John Franklin. Guys are getting after a contract. He'll get his chance. We got a long season. He'll get his chance, and he'll continue to work. But, again, he's a rookie. So I'm sure they're bringing him along in the scheme, and he'll figure things out. But we saw big – and I know that this was the preseason, but we saw him go out there and really put things together. And even this year, I forgot who it was, but he was putting pressure on a guy and did a spin move, and it freed up Jermaine Johnson to be able to make a play. I believe it was Jermaine Johnson that was able to get a sack because of his spin move. He moved an offensive lineman. So even some of the things that he's doing well on the field aren't necessarily showing up in the stat sheet. So I get it. I think, like you said, he may have one tackle in the season, but he's making his strides, and they're going to continue to utilize him and implement him in the defense. Just giving him you just got to give him baby steps, and we'll figure it out. But I'm telling you, that kid looks like he absolutely will pay dividends for us. Some of the things I saw in the preseason were just ridiculous. And again, that spin move from him is unbelievable. But Mike, I got to slide off because I got other callers. Before I let you go, give me your final score prediction. Jets, Giants, who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
Let's see. 17-10 Jets win.
17-10 Jets win. All right, let's go, Mike. Mike, I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right? We're going to keep moving. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Again, for the callers on the line, be patient. We will get to everybody, okay? Trust. Next, we're going to go to my guy, Ted. Ted, we're coming directly to you, okay? For those of you that do not know Ted, he's a savage. Ted, salutes. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Ted, listen.
Yes, sir.
We got an upcoming game against the Giants. A lot of things moving and shaking. Jets are coming off of a bye week. Sulla came out and talked about how they're doing things differently this week coming out of the bye. He wants to kick guys out of the bye, get them started fast, get them engaged emotionally and physically. What are your thoughts about that, man?
Hey, Joe, first thing, I just want to make sure my dogs were put away. Sometimes dogs do tend to bark in the background, so I had to make sure my dogs were kind of put away first. Anyway,
wonderful. Thank you.
Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Good to talk to you, Joe. Hey, Joe, I think Salah definitely has the pulse of the team. I believe Aaron Rodgers said on Pat McAfee's show that they basically wanted the players to leave for the week, and I think they wanted them to stay around, and Woody was convinced to let them go. But, hey, Joe, can I talk about the strategy? Because we should blow this team out.
Go ahead.
Okay, we should blow this team out. We can.
Ted. Talk to me.
The only way they can win is if Saquon Barkley goes Isaiah Pacheco on us. Okay, and he kind of wrecks the game on us, because if you can shut down Saquon and make whoever the quarterback is throw, and then we have Sauce Gardner and our various defensive studs out there, they're not going to be able to move the ball, Joe. They're going to be one-dimensional. And that's how we kind of lost control of the Chief game, because Isaiah Pacheco got loose, and kind of ran on us and caught balls and everything else. That's kind of how we got behind in the game. But, Joe, get on top of them early. Don't give them any hope, and make them one-dimensional. And then unleash the sack and unleash the pressure on them when they have to throw. They get behind. Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
No, listen. I'm right there with you. I'm not saying we're going to blow them out, but I think that's a good, plan defensively, right? You want to make sure that you shut Saquon Barkley down, which is a tough task. Okay, you just brought up a guy, Pacheco. We've seen it as well in the past too. Let me tell you something. Dallas was beating us like a quick throw, get the ball out of Dak's hands quickly, right, to running backs, and there was short passes, screens, stuff like that. I think that's going to be something that the Giants are going to implement as well. I understand, hey, we just shut Saquon down. That's easier said than done, okay? Easier said than done. But I do think that the New York Jets must corral, especially when they're trying to hand the football off and run the ball down our throats. We should not allow that whatsoever. I do think the Jets will be able to stop that, but I'm a little concerned about screens. We've seen that eat us up this season, especially when we get ultra-aggressive with blitzes. We've seen teams utilize that against us, right? We can start getting aggressive. They hit some screens, get some big gains off those screens, and the next thing you know, the defense is in a situation where that team's in the red zone and they're barreling down about to score a touchdown, on us. So we got to watch that. We got to get after it. But you talked about our secondary. There's a chance that Reed and Sauce, maybe they don't clear the concussion protocol this week. How concerned are you about that going into this game? Because, again, they're still in the concussion protocol. It's Tuesday. We'll see what happens going forward, right? But if they're gone, what is your level of confidence that the Jets are going to be able to stop some of the weapons that the Giants have? Because, again, we're just talking about Saquon. People aren't talking about Darren Waller. Darren Waller used to kill us when he was with the Raiders. He used to kill us. I'm on the West Coast. He was killing us, okay? And he's still solid. And they also got Jalen Hyatt as well, who's big play, okay? How concerned are you about Reed and Sauce still being in that concussion protocol? What is your level of confidence if the Jets have to go in there without them?
Very high, Joe. As we saw in the Eagle game. Okay. Joe, we have to get over the stigma of the same old Jet thing. And this is the week. This last week was the first step. This week is the second step. We have tremendous depth, Joe. We have tremendous talent on defense, tremendous depth on defense also. And we're going to activate a guy who we drafted in the 6th round, who I watched in the preseason, who I think is going to be a heck of a player. Bernard Converse, he went to LSU. He's on the active roster. He's on the active roster. That guy was flashing in the preseason. I know it's preseason. I think we're going to use a lot of safeties, Joe. I think we're going to use a lot of safeties and different packages to kind of occupy space in the middle of the zones and things like that in order to try to maybe minimize, like the short passing game. That's, I could see, and, we have to be creative in our play calling. Their offensive line is hideous too. I mean, we have no excuses, Joe. We literally should take this team and beat them. My prediction is 27-13. I know it's early. We should win by double digits, Joe. We should win by double digits. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, Ted says 27-13. Jeff. Listen, Ted, this has been a great call. I got to slide off with that other callers. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
All right, Joe. Take care, Joe.
All right. You have a good one. Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Again, when you call in, please be patient. We will get to everybody, okay? Next, I'm going to go to my guy, Rusty. Rusty, I'm coming directly to you. For those of you that do not know, Rusty, he's a savage.
What's up, fam and fellow savages?
Talk to me, Rusty. Listen, we are going into this game against the Giants, all right? A lot of things moving and shaking around here, a lot of people talking. There's a lot of things happening, but I want to start with this, man. Dwayne Brown's supposed to come off the IR this week at some point, okay? There's a lot of talk surrounding what they may do with Dwayne Brown. What do you think the Jets should do with him going forward? How do you think that they should handle him? Do you think that they should immediately implement him into the starting line for the New York Jets?
What's the bench made out of, teak or plastic? He could ride that. No way, man. No way. Nuh-uh. Now, he lost that. Thank God our guy Makai came, No way.
Okay, Rusty coming out of the gate with fire. Listen, I am in agreement. Okay, I didn't say it like that, but I did say that.
Well, you're humble. You're a nicer person than me, fam.
He'd be a great, reliable, depth piece, and I think that he should stay just that. As for now, right? Unless something happens, knock on wood. Okay, I hope nothing happens.
Yeah.
But Mekhi Becton has been playing phenomenal. I think we should leave him out there at left tackle. Of course, that right tackle spot where Max Mitchell's looking. Yeah, again, that right tackle, that Max Mitchell is over there. So I think that he's got to clean some things out. But we all know that Dwayne Brown doesn't play anything but left tackle. So let's just leave it how it is. But I'm a little concerned with Tippmann again dealing with that thigh injury. We'll see what happens going forward with that. Maybe he comes back this week. Maybe we see Wes Schweitzer. Who knows? But when you look at this situation, right, and you go into this week, how important is it to get the football to Breece Hall and implement the running game against the New York Giants?
That's a must. Breece is a beast, and it's a must. Must get in his hands, must bench Crook, and must play abracadabra. And I like Carter. Great person, great human.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? With I've been saying that I get crucified and stuff too. Like I love, like his first rookie year, awesome, perfect. Did it, but I don't know, man. He's got to be in like a special package type of thing because I don't know the dropsies. When we need 1 yard, he always goes backwards. I don't know. Something. But I'm an abracadabra fan.
Yeah. No, listen, Izzy, I think it would be great to implement. And I know everybody's been talking about Dalvin Cook and how slow he's been moving, and I get it, right? I'm a guy that sees it as well. I talked about it too. He's moving a little slow, all right? But Michael Carter's a guy I really like. And I think that Michael Carter, he needs to get more carries. He's got to get they've got to get the ball in his hands is what they've got to do.
Dude,
I don't think he's getting enough carries.
But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
No, I just don't think he's getting. I don't think he's getting enough carries. I think that's what it is. Honestly, I don't think he's getting enough carries. And I get that, he hasn't done much, but the opportunities, I don't think it have been there as much as it should be, especially in the passing game. I'm shocked that Michael Carter hasn't been utilized more in the passing game. And Breece has been shown. That's where
he should be. You're right.
Yes, and Breece has been shown to look. We get it. Breece is the bell cow back, clear as day. Yes, we run a rotational system, but it's clear as day that Breece is the guy. Get the ball to Breece, by any stretch that you can. But my goodness, what is going on with Michael Carter? And I think that Nathaniel Hackett can do a better job of that. Okay, even some of the carries that we're seeing being given to Dalvin Cook, it should be to Michael Carter. It should absolutely be to Michael Carter. So. I don't know what's going on, but we've got to clean that up. But as we continue to talk about this Jets offense, what are your expectations for Zach Wilson going against the Giants this week coming out of the bye?
Just keep eating that elephant as he's doing, piece by piece. And just because, what was it? Because of minus the bye week, I'll just, say 2 weeks ago or whatever, it was on, the coaching staff. When this little past week, when we were dealing with, of course it wasn't this past week, but so when we were dealing with Billy, that was on Zach's, that was on his bubble. But thank God he didn't turn it over, and he's been, just maintain the shit, man. Don't hit any asteroids, just go through the field and do whatever you have to do. Just come out on, and do what it is. And if they click this week in the red zone, that's what I'm hoping for because it was. You know what I mean? Like, it's that back and forth. Now, when it merges, please let it explode on the Giants. I freaking hate them. People can say all they I'm sorry for going on a tangent real quick. But people can say all they want, with the AFC East. Oh, yeah, I hate everybody royally in the division. But I'm here in New York. I had to grow up in this place, too. And all I ever heard was the Giants clappa. The only thing we ever had is that, and I hope our fellow Jets realize this, is we're the only New York team to ever win a Super Bowl. We won it while we were at Shea. Giants only won theirs when they were at New Jersey and playing in Jersey. And we know about the Buffalo Miserables, 0-4, how'd that go? Good for you. Thank you. Have another. And it's
listen,
it's the madness.
I want to see us, and you brought up a great point, and this is something I was going to continue to talk about as well. The Jets coming out of this bye, we know we got the rest of the season now ahead of us. They've got to clean things up in the red zone. They've got to get better in the red zone. They must. They've got to start finishing drives with touchdowns. I get it, field goals, and Greg Zuerlein to this point has been a godsend. He truly has. He's really kicked us, into a lot of games. He's kept us in a lot of games literally off of his leg. But we have got to start finishing in the red zone. We have got to start scoring touchdowns, especially against, some of these teams that we got coming up. And I get people are talking about the lighter part of the schedule. I don't necessarily believe that because I think this time around this season is when teams really start to find themselves and they get their mojo and they get rolling, right?
I feel you. That's how I feel.
We got to keep our foot on the gas. Go ahead, Rusty.
I don't think the gauntlet's over, man. I'm with you. I honestly don't think the gauntlet's over because now you're going to have hungry teams. You're going to have teams fighting. They're more dangerous than whatever you call the Chiefs and the Eagles and the Buffalo Miserables. They got the refs helping them, They don't have to worry about, the real dudes trying to freaking win. And that's, that's a different type of gauntlet,
Yeah.
It's gonna.
Now listen,
Not gonna be easy,
Rusty,
but we better.
Yeah, listen. I got to be careful when I talk about the people in striped shirts. I got to be careful, but you can say whatever you like, okay? And listen,
no,
I'm agreeing with you.
I know you respect them.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you. I'm not saying what you said. I'm just saying I'm agreeing with what I may have heard, okay? I got to be careful. But my final question before I let you go, Rusty, quickly. Darren Waller, okay, plays for the Giants, and a lot of people are not remembering that, but I am because I've watched him cook us for years to come. How concerned are you about him this upcoming week?
Put Eccles on him and then bump him out, and then hopefully, like, that's what we have Eccles, right? Eccles is back now?
Well, it's looking like he might be back, but a big proponent to that. And again, we'll get back to the lines. A big proponent. Listen, DJ Reed, Sauce, still on the concussion protocol. 1 and 2. That's a big concern, right? Isn't that a big concern for you as well?
Oh, absolutely. But Eccles is going to bump him out underneath so you can do some weird packages to where they had enough time to look at Bryce, then with the Halls. I just so many. I love it. I hope the defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators get as confused as I do with the names sometimes, but it's great. But that's what I just think that's what you have to do because Eccles can follow people, bump them out, and then go back and return to, like, he could do like a zone man. It's crazy how quick he is, shifty. And, like, not having DJ and Sauce, oh, man, that stinks. It really does.
Well, we'll see. They haven't been cleared yet, but there's a chance.
Better be Wednesday.
That we could be without them. We'll see.
We'll see. Hope for the best. Swing to the fence and make sure it's a Giants face. And this is Jetfly Stadium. This ain't not nothing. That's how I roll.
Man,
I refuse to say the Iron Stadium from years past. We lit that on fire and got barred from Monday Night Football for over a decade for a reason. Salutes, fellow savages that lit that building on fire. There was a reason why. Good.
Before I let you go, give me your final score prediction. Jets, Giants, who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
We better win, and we better body him. We better control him, and we better come out furious in the beginning. The only thing that concerns me, honestly, is Thibodeau. I can't stand him, but with they're going to put him over wherever we have a faulty, guy. Unfortunately, that's going to be on the right side. So, hey, put Ruck on there and just, ruck it and chuck it, man. Not allowed to curse on here, but that's it. Got a new shirt for you, bud. Just ruck it and chuck it. Just put it in there. He's got you. Love him.
What's the score prediction?
What we got. Oh, I can't do that this week.
Come on. Don't run from the score. Don't run from the score.
All I'm saying is us. Oh, I'm just saying us. Crash it. Good. I'm crashing it.
Running from the score prediction
and making them fall. Dang right. Dang right, fam. I'm just saying we're going to take it. I'm not doing no prediction on that, but
all right. It. Well, Rusty says we're going to take it. I'll take it. Rusty ran from the score prediction. Salutes to Rusty. He said we'll take it, but he didn't want to give us a score prediction. Don't run from that. Don't run from the score prediction. Don't do that. Woo! We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. Next, I'm going to my guy, Phenom. 973 Tom, I see you in the building. Steve, you'll be coming up next. We're going to Phenom, though, all right? I know he's got some takes for us. For those of you that do not know, Phenom, he's a savage. Phenom, man, this show is off the rails, all right? We're talking about a lot of different things that have been going on here with the New York Jets. We got the Giants coming up. We're coming off of a bye week, man. What are your thoughts? Are you concerned that the Jets will come out flat offensively?
We always have to be concerned about that with Zach Wilson being a quarterback. But let me go back, Joe. Great show about, breast awareness and that.
Breast cancer.
Great job. You got a big heart for doing that. And this is a scary game for me. Jets Giants has always been. I'm in the Bronx, and this is a big game because Giant fans are chirping. I mean, they had a big win this weekend. We had a Darren Waller signing showing this week. He actually caught a touchdown, and Tyrod Taylor's always giving us a problem. And I'll say it, Saquon Barkley's one of the best backs in football. So you have to stop him. If you do not stop him, it could be curtains for the Jets. That being said, our defensive line has played well this year. Our defense has played well this year. We were pretty banged up in the secondary against one of the best offenses in football, and for 3 quarters it looked like we were going to get beat, and then we showed up, we played. But we have concerns. We know on any given Sunday, one NFL team can beat another. So you can't go too high and mighty into this game thinking we're just going to dominate. No, we have to show it on the field. The team that plays their best game wins this game. And it might be the showdown of the running backs. Does Breece win or does Saquon win? That might be the determining factor. Who runs the football the best? Does Zach can't make the big mistake. Zach Wilson he's been playing well. He's played well in spots. He's maybe Aaron Rodgers has been whispering in his ear, or maybe Hackett has been put him in some good positions. We need to run the football. We need to be balanced on the offensive attack. We need to get guys involved. You guys said it all. We need to get the tight ends and all that stuff we have available to us. Xavier Gibson, we need to get him the ball. He's explosive. We need another weapon. That's why Hardman is gone, because he wasn't doing it. Hardman showed up against Buffalo. He showed up and done some great things. We're never going to forget that Monday night game. None of us are going to forget that game. So, Jets 3-3. If we would have been, if Aaron Rodgers would have been here and they said we would be 3-3, people would have been a little upset. If we would have said at the beginning of the year, Zach Wilson is going to be the starting quarterback for the Jets and we're 3-3, we would have been all over this. That being said, This is a trap game. This is a scary game. We can't go in too high and mighty. We got to play football. The defense has to set the tone. I could go on and on and on for hours, but we have a chance to control this game. If the defense plays well, we have the shot to win. But it's scary. It's scary.
You said quite a bit. Listen, I'm with you. We know
absolutely
that this team goes, at this point as the defense goes, right? Defense comes out and dominates. It's going to be great. But I look at the offense and I'm saying to myself, the red zone struggles that we've seen early in this year, they've got to cease, man. We've got to put up points. They've got to go out there. And I'm not saying that Zach Wilson has to be, Joe Montana. He doesn't have to be Drew Brees. He doesn't have to be Peyton Manning. But they've got to finish drives in the end zone. They must score points. And like you said, I think a big part of that is getting Breece the football, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, let's get Breece the football. But what about a guy like Garrett Wilson, right? What about a guy like you said, Xavier Gibson? What about Allen Lazard? Why are we not, putting the ball in Zach's hand, allow him to get the ball out of his hands quickly? That is something that should absolutely be implemented within this offense going forward. There should be some stuff early to get some quick throws, to get him rolling, to get him confident. Because, again, when you look at – let's go back to that Kansas City Chiefs game. Zach was cooking in that game. And he looked really, really good. And it was because he was making solid, concise decisions, getting the ball out of his hands quickly, hitting his reads, moving the chains and getting it done, right? And I think that that's something that I want to see out of the Jets offense going forward, right, especially coming out of this bye week. I want them to come out and start fast. Starting fast offensively for us, I think, will do wonders. Because then, guess what? It allows our defense to go out there and pin their ears back and say, okay, we're just gonna take your heart away now, right? When we're scoring points,
I agree with you, Joe.
It looks different. When we're sustaining drives, our defense looks different. So that's what I want to see. But give me your thoughts on that, Thino.
I think you're absolutely on point. I was thinking about the Denver game. It seemed like there was a plan in place, an offensive plan in place to do some things that would Zach relaxed and like that. Kansas City I was amazed. That's a game I really wanted, because it seemed like they did enough to win that game. But the Denver game, coming back in that Denver game, they seemed like they were in control to a certain extent. And then who knew? Nobody. Did you really think they were going to beat Philly last week? Of course you're going to tell me. Yeah, I don't know what you're going to tell me. But that was a surprise that happened. But like we said, on any given Sunday, one NFL team could beat another. But if you would have had $1,000 last week, and I said, Joe, how much are you going to bet on the Jets? I would have loved to hear your answer.
Well, I did.
It's going to be one of those ball games.
For that. Yeah, I did live shows for that, but I didn't pick the Jets to win. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not a liar like other people around here that just
lying. No. I'm not accusing you of lying, Joe. I didn't hear that show. So, no, you're my man. No, we're good. But this is just like Mets Yankees. This is battle for New York right now. Jets have been talking to football world all football season. Giants have not been getting any play. We beat them in the preseason, as I remember, but now this is real. So who shows up for the Jets? Like you guys have said it all. Do we come out slow and then we got to fight our way back? Because that's what I had to be in. Kind of. I have the Jets winning 2017. I have us winning by a field goal.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be one of those. I would love to say, we put up 35. It's 35-17, and Zach is rolling, but I don't see that yet. But is it possible? Sure. But I think it's going to be 2017, and we're going to sweat through the game, buddy.
Okay. Listen, Phenom says 2017. Phenom did not run from the score prediction. Listen, Phenom, I got to slide off. We got other callers. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you.
Thanks,
right?
Joe.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Joe. Phenom bringing heat, okay? He been bringing heat. Salute to all the callers tonight. They've been bringing some takes. We're going to keep it moving, keep it rolling, though. 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Again, everybody be patient. We're going to get to everybody. Trust. Next. I'm going to my guy, Mike from Tom's River. 973, you'll be next. Steve will come to you as well. We're going to Tom's River, though, all right? We got to go to him. For those of you that do not know Mike, he's a savage. Mike salutes. Listen, my friend, we've been talking that talk tonight. Jets, Giants, we got them coming up. All right, we're coming out of a bye week. I'm hoping we don't come out sluggish, but I want to see the New York Jets start fast offensively. I talked about it just a second ago. I need to see points, and not just Greg Zuerlein out there kicking field goals. I need touchdowns, all right? I need touchdowns. I need the Jets to finish drives in the end zone. What say you?
I think the last call, you hit it on perfectly. We have to start passing the ball on first and second down in the red zone instead of running it 2 times and passing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, look, Zach, to me, and this is going to be my question for you, I really want to – we know that we've got teams coming up. We know that there's been a lot of talks surrounding him. Some people feel like he's awful. I'm talking about Jets fans. Some Jets fans feel like he's awful. Some people feel like he's been playing good. I personally have been thinking he's been solid. He hasn't been killing us, but I want to see the growth. I want to see if he's going to be able to come out and really continue to command the offense and grow within the offense. What are your expectations from Zach coming out of this bye week against the Giants?
I would like to see him, 230 yards passing, no turnovers. That's okay. No turnovers.
Okay. Okay.
Get the tight ends involved, quick slants, screenplays, and once in a while, throw it deep.
Do you think we'll see an offensive game plan that kind of sets him up to get outside the pocket and throw from there, throw on the move, stuff like that, bootleg, stuff like that?
I think they should because I don't like the right guard. I don't like him at all. He's like the turnstile. I would
Wes
do
Schweitzer.
that and take time this year too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to see
interesting.
involved.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what we do here. And again, the Giants, they're dealing with Jackson. He's dealing with a neck injury. We'll see if he plays. If he doesn't, man, there could be some targets to be had. Again, I want to see Garrett Wilson get the ball in his hands. And again, we're talking about Xavier Gibson constantly. I want to see if his role gets expanded. Again, Mecole Hardman is gone. He was the guy that said, hey, he's emerging, so it made Mecole expandable. Well, what's going on? Are we going to see Mecole get the ball in his hands? Now, my next question for you, Tom, you talked about this offensive line, this right guard, Wes Schweitzer. If he plays, if Tippmann doesn't play, it's probably going to be Schweitzer that's going to be in there at guard. How concerned are you about this offensive line facing up against this Giants front? A lot of people are sleeping on this. I'm not. Dexter Lawrence is a really good defensive lineman in this league, and Leonard Williams is pretty darn good too. And then you got Kayvon. He's got like 5 sacks on the season. Are you concerned that this Jets offensive line won't be able to protect Zach properly?
It could be. Sexy Dexy is pretty good, you know. I would say if that happens, you're going to have to start doing the 3-step drops, you know, short, quick passes, you know, get rid of the ball.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. Now, we'll go to the defensive side of the ball real quick with you, Mike. Tyrod Taylor is probably going to be the guy that's starting. Danny's still dealing with that neck injury. We'll see. But as of now, it looks like Tyrod's going to be the guy that's going to be out there. How concerned are you about his mobility against, you know, this Jets pass rush? Do you think that we'll be able to get to him early and often?
Danny Dimes, he's good at rushing too. What we haven't talked about yet, I liked last week when they did against the Eagles, when they had the two defensive linemen down, and then they had 5 standing up, and they were threatening the blitz. I want to see more of that. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll go a lot further. That confused Jalen Hurts big time. He threw a lot of interceptions off that.
Yeah, listen, I want to see him shake things up as well. You know, I don't want him to get too carried away with blitzing. We've seen that really burn us in the past, especially. I think the Giants are really going to come out and have a similar game plan to what the Cowboys tried to do against us, getting the ball out of his hands quickly, getting the ball to Saquon. Again, we all know Saquon's a great back in this league, even though, you know, he's a Giant, but still, I respect the talent. He's a great back in this league. I think they're going to try to get him. Yeah. Oh, yes, and Waller as well. I've been talking about him tonight, Tom. I'm here on the West Coast. I watched him cook us consistently. I remember he was cooking people constantly with the Raiders. He's over there with the Giants now. I'm concerned about him, too. This is a guy that has a history of burning the Jets. What do you think the Jets should do against him defensively?
I think you should play a lot more nickel on him, like double team him off the middle, you know. I think that's the way to do it. Poison, you know. I think take Waller out and take Barkley out. And I think we're gonna beat the shit out of him. Oh, I'm sorry.
What? Watch the language. What? Family show.
I know. Sorry. But I think we're gonna beat them pretty good.
Okay. And again, we'll see. DJ Reed, Sauce, still in concussion protocol. We'll see what happens going forward with them. Hopefully, they get cleared. You know, before game time.
Well,
now,
I'm worried about that because Reed has
go ahead.
You know, and then Sauce. You know, I mean, concussion. It should be like 1 week. You know, be back. I'm getting scared about that.
Yeah, I am worried about that as well. We saw them not get cleared last week. And again, Sauce came out on social media, and, you know, we know he tweets and he goes back and forth, you know, playfully with fans and definitely speaks his mind on social media. We see him speak his mind with players against as well, other players on other teams. And he said he felt fine. You know, he says he's feeling fine. He doesn't know what's going on. But again, you know, they're dealing with things medically, and hopefully they both get cleared and everything's good with them going forward. But we'll see, because it was a shocker when DJ was, you know, sidelined. But it was also, we were all really shocked about Sauce being on the protocol as well, because it wasn't even really being talked about. It was just like all of a sudden he wasn't playing against the Eagles and he was on the protocol. So we'll see what happens going forward. Again, hopefully everything's good with them medically and they get cleared. So my final question for you, Tom, give me your score prediction, man. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think this game ends up?
I'm going to say Jets 28-10.
Jets 28-10. That's straight from Mike. All right. Mike, I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right? You got some good takes, man.
All right, thanks, Joe.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers again. Everybody be patient. Before we get back to them, though, Sir Foul Player of Booking salutes to you. He says, are the Jets re-signing Mekhi long-term if he doesn't get injured this year? I would think that they would try to work out a deal with him, sir. And, again, I want to thank all the savages in the chat going back and forth and asking their questions. I come to y'all when I can. You know, I'm one man, but we do this in between the calls. I would think that the New York Jets will try to work out something with him. But here's the deal, right? And I've always been very quick to put my takes out there, especially early. I've been talking about the rough terrain that could be coming, you know, in the future for this Jets offensive line, right? The rough terrain that they may face, because if you don't get Mekhi signed long-term, because he does not have a fifth-year option, right, which I believe they should have gave him, but they didn't. If you don't get him signed, then if you want to keep him, you're going to have to franchise him, which is going to be a lot of money, right? If he plays well this year and shows that he can be that guy and stay healthy, baby, let me tell you something. He's going to be a young, solid left tackle that has also shown you that he can play right tackle, but he's really a left tackle, as we all know. He's playing pretty well out there. If he shows you that he can do that, boy, oh boy, I don't know how y'all think that boy's coming here cheap, but he's not. Let me tell you something. Left tackles of his ilk on the free agency market, oh, you better get ready to pay outside of your nose, okay? Let me tell you, it is what it is. Let me tell you something, okay? Big-time left tackles that have the talent that Mekhi Becton has shown, brother, you are going to pay. You know, I keep it all the way real with you. There have been tackles, not even left tackles, right tackles, just average right tackles that have been in free agency that have gotten paid enormous amounts of money. And it was like, I mean, he's okay, but he's just kind of average. Right? So that's the scary situation and terrain that we're going forward with. Because if the New York Jets can't get him re-signed, you're going to have to franchise him, which is going to be some issues there. Let's keep it real. Because we know the history between the New York Jets front office and Mekhi Becton, it ain't all been good. All right? We all know, right? There's been a lot of things. He blamed them for an injury at one point. There was a lot of friction, a lot of talking about the coaching staff not liking him. There was issues with conditioning, all kinds of stuff, according to reports. All right? So let me tell you something. I'm hoping, Sir Foul Player, that the New York Jets are going to be able to retain Mekhi Becton. But, man, things are looking a little rough. I'm hoping they're going to be able to pay him because let me tell you something. If he finishes this season without being injured and looks solid and looks like the Mekhi and continues to be the Mekhi Becton that we know, brother, good luck. Then you also got to worry about the New York Jets center position. We'll see what happens with that going forward. We know that, Connor McGovern, not here for the future. He's on a one-year deal. Okay, you slide Tippmann over to center. You got a hole at right guard. Then you got to look at that right tackle position. ATV's coming back. Is he going to go to right tackle or is he going back to right guard? I'd like to see him go back to right guard. So you got a hole at right tackle. So potentially you could end up with a hole at left tackle, right guard, and right tackle. Or left tackle, center, and right tackle. And don't even get me started on people that want to get rid of Laken Tomlinson. I'm on that train as well. That's a hole there at left guard. So you got to wonder, what's going on and how we're going to handle this business going forward. So it's going to be very interesting. Again, there's some moves that can be made, and I think draft capital, a lot of people talking about the Jets making trades and giving up first-rounders. You got to wonder. You give up all these first-rounders, where are we drafting guys? Especially when you look at the situation, right, where there's some really good offensive linemen coming out in this next draft. Some really good offensive linemen. Again, things could shake out. We could be having big questions at left tackle and right tackle. And depending on what goes on with the guard situation, we can end up having some problems with left guard if we get rid of Laken Tomlinson. All right? And there's people now questioning if ATV can stay healthy. I think he's all right. I think it's just, he's had some injuries. I think he'll be fine. But There's people even questioning that as well. Salutes to all the Savages. And I'm not bashing anybody for doing so, right? I'm not bashing anybody. I don't think I know there's some Jets fans that have gone way too far, called him a bust and all that other stuff. People are questioning his health and his ability to stay healthy too. The second year, a big injury, right? I think he'll be fine going forward. But there's some questions. So that's my take on it. Again, we'll continue to talk about that as the season goes on, but there are some questions about the Jets' offensive line, especially when we're talking about protecting Aaron Rodgers going forward as he comes off an Achilles injury. You heard it here first. The Jets are going to have to do some work up front on that offensive line in this upcoming draft. Trust me. And they've got to do it fast. A-Rod's probably only going to be here maybe 3 years, maybe 2-3 more years. Got to fix it up front, all right? 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to the Savages. I'm talking to the Savages in the chat. I'm talking to the Savages on the line. You know, that's what I'm all about here. I love this team. Next, we're going to 9, coming to you. Steve, you will be next. 973. We're coming directly to you. 973, you're looking like a new caller. Give me your name, where you're from, and give me your thoughts on this New York Jets football team matching up against these Giants. Are you concerned about them coming out flat coming off of a bye week?
Let's go, Joe. It has been 3 years since I last called into the show. It's Prestige Shogun, by the way. So,
okay,
you already know I'm bringing the heat.
Okay.
I'm bringing the heat tonight, baby.
Hear from you, Shogun. Listen, hold on. For those of you that do not know, Shogun, he's a savage, man. He's a savage. We ain't heard from him in
awesome.
a million years.
That's awesome.
Heard from him in like a million years, but he is a savage, all right? Listen, Shogun, we're talking that talk. We're talking that talk tonight. Jets, Giants.
Yes, we are.
Are you concerned about the Jets coming out flat off of a bye week? Is that a concern of yours? Give me your thoughts.
You know what? Not this week. I think this is a defense where we could actually get it right against, and I think Zach Wilson, he should have a good game. And not for nothing, I got to throw this in here. I'm seeing a lot of Giants fans talking a lot of smack before this game, saying how Zach Wilson's going to see ghosts against that defense, or how we're not ready for him, or that we don't run New York. Man, you're 2-5. You're eating chicken nuggets at the kids' table, or we're eating steak at 3-3, competing for a division title. What you on about? You don't run nothing. You don't run nothing.
Shogun talking that talk. He talking that fire early. Okay, listen, I'm with it. Let's get to it. Okay, now we're talking about
I told you.
This team coming out. You're saying you think we start fast, right? And this is something I want to see out of this Jets team coming out the bye week. I want to see the offense start fast. That's what I want, all right? I want to see us rectify our issues in the red zone. Do you think that we will do just that? Do you think the New York Jets will clean up the red zone issues that we've seen earlier in this year coming out of the bye week as well?
Yeah, and I think this week at the very least, because the Giants rank near last in red zone defense, so that's a big plus for us. And I think Hackett and Saleh have cooked something up over the last – they've had 2 weeks to prepare for the Giants team. Keep that in mind. A team that's not very good in my opinion, and I'm sure you would agree. Obviously, you got to play the game because it's the NFL after all. But there's no reason to be afraid of this Giants team, whether it's Jones or Taylor. Like, you give the ball to Breece, the Giants are not good at stopping the run. Garrett Wilson should be a nightmare for any of their defensive backs. Like, you already know, feed Breece. Breece, he sees meat on the table, and he's going to get it. He's going to eat. Got him over 100 yards rushing and a tutty. I smell it. Garrett Wilson have a big game. Zach Wilson, Zach just got to play clean football at the very best. But I want to see him. I want to see this team just humble the Giants, humble their fans at least. Giant fans, with all that smack they're talking, they're asking for an ass whooping. Sorry to curse, but they're asking for it. They're asking for it.
Here we go. Shogun talking that talk. Now, watch it. It's a family show. But I feel the energy. I know you're fired up. All right. Just, watch it. Now, you're talking about Breece Hall. Yes, we do need to get him the football. I want to see Izzy get involved as well. Right? Of course, we want to see Carter. I think we got a slow cook down, though. All right. Maybe sit him down for a little bit and allow other things to go. But
not him.
This Jets defense, right? This Jets defense, Shogun. You talked a little bit about it. We got to get after Tyrod Taylor. We know that he's mobile. I think that he's going to be the guy that's going to end up being the starter because Danny Dimes or Daniel Jones is still dealing with that neck injury. But I agree. He brings a different. I think he brings a different threat, right? Because he's mobile, he can move and do a bunch of things. But how concerned are you about Saquon Barkley, man? I know everybody's fired up, but Saquon is still a darn good back in this league. Come out the backfield, catch the football, right? We've seen us get cooked by that in the past. Quick passes, stuff like that, really throw the Jets defense off. How worried are you about Saquon Barkley?
I mean, yeah, I've been watching Saquon since he was like a freshman at Penn State. I'm a Penn State Nittany Lion guy myself. He's the greatest Nittany Lion ever. And, yeah, he's someone you got to watch out for. Like, the Jets seem to have gotten a little better stop on the run this year, but I think Saquon still brings a big threat. I don't think he's going to have many explosive plays. I don't think that our defense is going to allow that. Like, our offensive line, for example, I think it matches up well against the Giants' defensive line. I know the defensive line's got some dogs, Dexter Lawrence, just to name one, but I think we can handle it. We've handled better defensive lines. I think we should handle the Giants. Giants fans out here sounding like, oh, imagine what our defense is going to do to the Jets' offense. Zach Wilson going to be seeing ghosts. Why don't we talk about what Tyrod Taylor is going to be seeing? He's going to be seeing demons in his dreams this weekend.
Ooh.
You got Jermaine Johnson, Bryce Huff, Quinton Williams, JFM. I could go on. I'm probably missing a few others, but imagine Sauce and DJ Reed come back, then takes away your deep threat for Jalen Hyatt, and he's not going to be able to outrun Sauce Gardner or Jordan Whitehead, who's lying in the backfield, just waiting to pick you apart. So I think this is a game that we got to win. I don't want to see a slow start. The bottom line, I do not want to see a slow start. We got to get our foot on the gas pedal. I love it. First play of the game, Breece Hall takes it 80 yards of the house. Would love for that to happen. We got to see how it goes. I think we should take care of business. I think we're the better team, and I think it's just we want it more. We're motivated, and we really believe Rodgers is going to come back this year. Whether he does or doesn't, that's to be decided, to be seen down the future. But these players, they want to win as many games as possible for him to get back, and I think Zach understands that too. So I think we're getting it done this weekend. Not scared of the Giants.
Give me your final score prediction, Shogun. Just let me know. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? Jets, Giants.
This whole game's been turned into an extravaganza in my history class with everybody. I've turned it into the main event. I got the Jets winning 23-13.
Ooh, okay. Said 23-13. You took the Jets.
We got it.
Listen, Shogun, I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, man. I want to hear from you more often. You got great takes, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you for having me on. Good to be back here after 3 years.
Absolutely. You have a good one. Listen, Shogun came on with some fire. He came on with some fire, okay? We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Tonight, I don't think I've had anybody take the Giants at all. This has been Jets fans are very, very confident. Very confident. And, you know, spirits are high around the teams. You should be. We'll get to the questions in the chat in a second. GBH, I see you in the building. We'll come to you in a little bit. But we got to go to Steve, man. We're going to Steve. 857 will come to you next. Okay, we'll come to you next. But we got to go to Steve, all right? For those of you that do not know, Steve, he's a savage. Damn, Steve is a savage. Salute, Steve. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, man, we're talking Jets, Giants. There's a lot of Jets fans that have called in tonight. You know, it's been phenomenal. And I'm hearing nothing but just confidence. People are excited. People are ready to go. They're saying we're going to smash the Giants. A lot of people talking about the Jets' offense, particularly Zach Wilson. A lot of people saying we're going to start fast and get into the end zone early. What are your thoughts on that, man?
Hey, Joe. Well, first of all, thank you again for having me on your show. It's always great to talk about this team. Obviously, last week we didn't have to worry about the team. It was a nice, relaxing week for Jet fans last week. We got to enjoy some football, not worry about, the team playing. But now, obviously, now it's time to go back to work this week against the Giants. And before we talk about this game, I just want to let you know, Joe, I'll be one of the Jets fans representing at MetLife Stadium this Sunday because I'll be at the game on Sunday.
Awesome. That is awesome to hear. I hope you have an amazing time at MetLife, man.
Yeah, even though MetLife is a garbage dump, I'll just tell you that.
Well, yeah, we can definitely talk. Well, let's talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, I know.
That toaster oven,
but listen,
yeah,
so Joe,
that toaster oven. But go ahead, Steve.
But anyway, Joe, so here is my things about going into this game, as we get ready to play against the New York Giants. I am going to say this. I watched the Giants last week, They're coming off of a 14-7 win against their division rivals, the Washington Commanders. And, they ended up winning 14-7. And here is the thing what I'm going to say about their team. Their defense is coming off of one of their best games of the season, because they got to Sam Howell quite a few times last week when they played against the Commanders. Like, they beat them up. They beat them up pretty good. But the thing is, though, because we don't know about, because you were talking about their quarterback situation. We don't know if Daniel Jones is going to be healthy enough to play against us on Sunday. Because one thing the Giants did say, Daniel Jones, when he's healthy, he is going to be the starter. But if he's not healthy, then that's when Tyrod Taylor comes in. And listen, we have faced Tyrod Taylor a lot in the past. Because Tyrod Taylor, remember, he used to play for Buffalo for a few years before the Bills decided to move on and get their new quarterback, which was Josh Allen. Now, when I look at this Giants defense, the strongest part about their defense is their defensive front. Because obviously Leonard Williams, who used to play for us, he's having a decent season. Dexter Lawrence on the defensive line is good too. But the player on their line that we do have to watch out for is their edge rusher, Kayvon Thibodeau. He is the one player on that defensive line on the edge that we have to watch out for, because whether he's facing Becton or Max Mitchell on Sunday, he's going to be one of the key players we have to watch out for on the edge. Now, also too, as someone mentioned on the Giants offense, in order to have Tyrod Taylor make mistakes, put pressure on him. Also, another thing is we can't let Saquon Barkley have a field day against us, because if Barkley ends up going off on us, there's a good chance that we could lose this game. But if the Jets defense can, maintain Barkley, then we will definitely win this game. And the one thing is about the Jets offense is they need to work on it. When we get into the red zone, and you mentioned this, Joe, we have to score touchdowns in the red zone. We can't let everything go put more pressure on Greg Zuerlein to kick field goals. We have to get touchdowns. And hopefully that was something that Zach and the offense maybe work together on during the bye week. But now we'll see what happens this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah, listen, Steve, you brought some great points, and I want to go back to what you were talking about with the Jets defense. Everybody's talking about, listen, Jalen Hyatt is a good player. You talked about Saquon Barkley and locking things down, but there's a chance that Reed and Sauce may not play. They're still in the concussion protocol. We'll see. But, we've seen this happen before. We were without them last week. Maybe they don't get cleared. If they do not get cleared for this upcoming game against the Giants, are you still confident that the Jets secondary will be able to handle things?
First of all, let me just say, Joe, I would be very, very shocked if DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner do not get cleared. I mean, listen, I know ever since last year, ever since what happened to Tua Tagovailoa last year in that Thursday night game against Cincinnati, unfortunately, the NFL concussion protocol has been very, very, very strict ever since what happened to Tua Tagovailoa last year when he got carted off the stretcher in the game against Cincinnati. But you know something, Joe? Now, another thing I'm going to say is I am going to be really shocked if Sauce and DJ do not clear the protocol. Because if they don't clear the protocol, I'm going to be really shocked about it. Because DJ Reed has now missed 2 straight games. And, DJ Reed and Sauce both had a week to get rest. They both had a chance to rest their bodies this week. I know on Monday Saleh did announce that they were still in the concussion protocol, but Saleh did say that he's going to find out, and we'll find out obviously tomorrow when the first injury report comes out tomorrow.
Yeah,
now,
Wednesday is definitely going to be a day where those guys are going to definitely fill things. We're going to definitely fill things out, especially Wednesday. And again, we'll figure out what's going on with Tippmann as well, and that speaks to your point too about the Giants, defensive line. If we're without Tippmann, you're going to have Schweitzer out there. We've seen Schweitzer being a little bit up and down. Listen, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, and Kayvon, those guys can get after it. We got to make sure that we can protect Zach. But my next question for you too, though, Steve, is you're talking about a lot of guys. We talked about Saquon. You talked about Hyatt. How concerned are you about Darren Waller? We've seen him cook the Jets in the past.
He was another player that I was just about to talk about next. So here is the thing. Darren Waller was the biggest acquisition for the Giants this offseason. He was their biggest acquisition in the offseason. And they ended up leasing a trade with him with the Raiders, obviously, during the offseason. I mean, obviously, we've seen how bad of an organization the Raiders are. But, but Darren Waller, he is a phenomenal talent, and he is another player and the thing is, in the past, the Jets have had some issues, unfortunately, still at the tight end position. I mean, hey, listen, even though we beat Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago, remember, Dallas Goedert did have a decent game against us when we did play against the Eagles, and now we're going up against Darren Waller. And Darren Waller, let me tell you, when Darren Waller gets going, he gets going. I even remember the last time when we played against Darren Waller, that was when he was still a member of the Raiders. That was obviously the final season we had with Adam Gase. And I remembered in that game against when the Jets played the Raiders, Darren Waller torched us in that game. And even though the Jets still to this day shouldn't have won that game, Darren Waller still had a great game against us, even if we had beaten them that day. But Darren Waller is going to be the player that the Jets do have to watch out for. Darren Waller and Saquon Barkley are the Giants' 2 most dangerous offensive players. We can shut those players down. We can beat them on Sunday. Now, last thing I just wanted to say, Joe, before I let you talk again. This is a game, for Zach coming up. After from having a week off, my only concern is, when the Jets in the past have coming off 5 weeks, the Jets, unfortunately, Joe, have laid flat as a pancake. They have laid flat as a pancake the last couple of years, every time when we come off of a bye. In the last 10 years, Joe, the New York Jets are 1-9 coming off of buys. 1-9 coming off of bye weeks. And that is unacceptable. This Sunday, we have to prove, and we need to start fast. Like, the one thing that the Jets cannot do is have these slow starts. We had a slow start against Denver. We had a slow start against Kansas City. We had a slow start against Philadelphia. But we cannot give up an opening drive touchdown to start the game, because let's say that happens, we could be in trouble. But we got it. But we're going to see what happens this Sunday.
Yeah, listen, that was quite a bit of great takes from you, Steve. Give me your final score prediction. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
I definitely still believe that we will win this game, because I know the Jets are a better football team than the Giants are this year. I'm going to give the New York Jets a 27-13 win over the Giants.
Okay. Listen, Steve, I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right? Listen, we're going to keep things moving and shaking, all right? Steve with a great call. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. I'll come to y'all questions next. We got to get to Chris. Salutes, Edward Stewart. Again, everybody, please hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Please hit that notification bell so when I post content, you'll be in the know. Also, if you want to give to the platform, the Super Chat is there. Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Anything you give to the platform is greatly appreciated. And as well, listen, I'm wearing pink. We're in the month of breast cancer awareness. Please get involved. My Susie G. Komen donation page link is there. I think we're trying to raise $200. I know it's a small amount, but, we're doing whatever we can to fight against breast cancer. Please give $1, $2, $3. Give anything that you can. It really helps go a long way. Skip a coffee for a day and do whatever you can. Again, give it here to the Susie G. Komen Foundation. That money goes directly to the Susie G. Komen Foundation, straight through their donation page on their website, hosted by me. So please, please, please give to the page there, the donation page, to fight against breast cancer and bring breast cancer awareness. We're doing whatever we can to eradicate this awful disease. So we're going to get back to the lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Next, we're going to my guy, Chris. We're going to Chris. I know Chris has some things to say. For those of you that do not know, Chris, he's a savage.
What's up, Joe? Can't be
Man, Chris, this has been a hot show, bro. Look, I'm here
I know.
talking that talk. I got people calling in saying we're going to kill the Giants, we're going to blow them out. I'm just listening to everybody, okay? I'm a Jets fan through and through, just like everybody listening as well, and I want to hear everybody's perspective. Now, my big thing is I want to see the New York Jets offense come out and start fast. I need to see touchdowns. I need to see points being scored in the red zone. I need to see Zach Wilson, okay? I need to see Zach Wilson take command of this game and throw the Jets into a W, all right? That's what I want to see. What are your thoughts, Chris? What do you think we see from the Jets offense? Do you think they come out fast? And what are your expectations for Zach Wilson?
It's going to be a tough game for Zach Wilson, man. You got the Giants. You got Martindale. It's going to be a tough game, man.
Yes.
People think that the Jets are going to just walk with the Giants and blow them out.
Yep.
Like the Giants are a really good team, man. The defense is really good, and this is going to be a fight, man. This is going to be a knock 'em sock 'em game. It's going to be old style football, running the football. Will win this game. This is going to be a physical game. I'm telling you. I just look at it. I just see it the way it is.
Okay, so you think that this game is going to be about getting the ball in Breece Hall's hands, according to what you're saying right now. How many carries are you thinking? How many carries do you think it's going to take to put the New York Jets offense in a spot to really deliver a victory? Talk to me.
I think that it will take at least got to get 15 carries. They got to do the screens. They got to even utilize Dalvin Cook out of the backfield. They got to utilize Garrett Wilson in the slot. They got to utilize everything they have on the offense to call, But unfortunately, I'm just gonna I'm just telling you, I see this team, this Giant defense, and they're pretty good, man. So I mean, people think they're gonna blow these guys out, expecting people to start fast. You may be sadly disappointed, because I look at the Giants. It's like you got Wink Dartnell down there. He was the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens for years.
Yes, he was.
So I mean, lockdown defenses.
Yeah.
So,
and some people have forgotten at one point Wink Martindale was a hot name in the head coaching search.
Yeah.
He was hot. I'm talking white hot.
Yeah.
Like there were teams that were screaming about bringing him in, and I know that things have changed. Things change in the league, but he's still one of those guys out there, and he can still put some things together. Wink is a really good defensive coordinator. You're absolutely bringing the heat there with that take. But as we continue to talk about this, I know you just said earlier, all right, you want to see them get the ball to Dalvin Cook coming out the backfield. I want to see Michael Carter utilized more in the passing game. And I don't understand why he hasn't been, because that's a guy that I think at this point I think that Michael Carter is better than Dalvin Cook right now.
Right.
That's truly what I believe. I think that Dalvin Cook, and look, I know we spent money to bring him in, and we were all excited. Dalvin. He was just, kind of an added piece, but he has looked really slow. He looks like a guy that, ain't moving as fast as he has in the past. So my question to you is, do you think that we'll see that change made to the offense as we continue to, go forward after this bye week? Do you think we'll see Michael Carter implemented within the offense more?
I think they will. I think they'll put him in there. But, one of the things Dalvin Cook messed up on is that, from my look at it, he didn't play the preseason. He should have made his decision, to play in the start of the season and get everything ramped up. Now he's going through the pre-thing of the season, getting ramped up and everything else. And, obviously he's not in full form. So you got to go with Michael Carter, maybe get Izzy in there. But, this game's going to be very, very tough, man, for the Jets to win.
Yeah. No, it is, especially, again, you look at this offensive line, and that's where I want to get with you as well. There's been a lot of talk. Like you said, this Giants defensive front is, listen, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Kayvon Thibodeau, they get after it. This defense is pretty solid. But when you look at this situation, you got, you got Wes Schweitzer up front. Are you concerned, because Tippmann is still dealing with that thigh injury, if he doesn't play, then Schweitzer's going to be out there. Are you concerned about this offensive line getting mauled?
Yes, I am very concerned about this offensive line getting mauled up the middle. And Dexter Lawrence is a big guy, man. He's very tough up the middle. Leonard Williams
tackles in the league. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
Leonard Williams.
Leonard
Williams is borderline Pro Bowl guy. So we got some problems up the middle. So I got like I said, this is going to be a knock 'em, sock 'em running game. Is who has the well in the offensive line to carry the team over the thing. It's going to be one of those games, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling everybody right now, don't expect Zach Wilson to come out and throw 100, passes, and he ain't gonna have time in that pocket, man. You got two guys on the right hand side that are new. You got offensive line down, and you got the Giants defense coming. They put a hurting on Buffalo and Washington's offensive line.
Yeah.
What are they going? So it's gonna be a tough game, man. So
Now, as we continue forward, and we're talking about this offensive line, I know that you're a big Mekhi Becton guy as well. Dwayne Brown looks like he's going to be coming off the IR this week at some point. How do you think the Jets are going to handle him going forward? Do you think that eventually we'll see him literally just being the starting left tackle? It's probably be after this week, even if they do that. But do you think that they'll, give him his spot back, or how do you think they'll handle this situation with him?
This is the thing. I think Mekhi's a team guy. I think he wants to do what's best for the team. And people says, he don't want to go back to right tackle. I think he's overcome that. I think he knows what his position is. I know he's got enough play and tape to know he's a left tackle. People don't have a problem going back to right tackle. No, he will not. You know what I'm saying? Let's dead that rumor right now, Jet fans. He will not have a problem. If the team is getting blown out and getting mauled, he won't have a problem going back to right tackle. Forget all that stuff you guys are talking about. Guys are team players. They're not like looking, he's going to get his money, okay? He knows that.
Oh, yes.
But,
if he stay healthy, yes, he will.
He has no problem going back to right tackle to help out this team. He likes his team. He likes the organization. He wants to be a long-term part of the team. Okay?
Yeah.
So forget that stuff. When people say, we don't know how Mekhi Becton would feel if he went. No, he would go to right tackle if the team needed. If Salah asked him to go to the other side, he would do it. So, but again, if that's best for the team, I don't know.
Yeah. Here's the deal, though. I don't think that's best for the team at all. If we're doing what's best for the team, Mekhi Becton needs to continue to remain the New York Jets starting left tackle.
Right.
That's what needs to happen. Right. Because Dwayne Brown, listen, he's 30, 38, I think it is, something like that.
Right.
We saw what he brought to the table. Let's be serious. He's old, stiff. I get it. He could be a quality depth piece here. But what's best for the team is Mekhi Becton to remain at left tackle.
I agree.
Max Mitchell or Billy Turner over at the right side, and let that be that going forward. Now, he could be a quality depth piece. Yeah, that right tackle He said, that right tackle spot, we're working on it. But now we know that, we'll see what happens going forward. Now, he could be a quality depth piece, but I do not want to see Dwayne Brown back in that starting left tackle spot. I don't. But I hear you. I think, I think Mekhi Becton would be more than willing to go back to right tackle if asked. But I don't think that he should be pushed over there because let me tell you something. They're doing some good work. Now, as we go over to the other side of the ball quickly, Chris, there's a chance, Reed and Sauce may not play if they don't clear the concussion protocol. We saw, it was kind of miraculously they didn't clear it last week. If they don't clear the concussion protocol this week, does that mess with your level of confidence in the Jets going into the, and beating the Giants? No? Okay.
No, I told you about my boy Breece Hall. I told y'all. I told y'all, man. He is a starting cornerback in this league. I've seen this guy play in VA, man.
You did.
This guy can play with the best of them, and he showed it last week, and he can show it again. I'm telling you. Everybody's talking about this, this guy we just turned he gonna play. He gonna show up, okay? So you don't have to worry about Breece Hall, man.
Yeah. Okay. How concerned are you about Saquon Barkley and Darren Waller? That's my final question.
That's the thing, right? So with the teams going back and forth consistently, there's about to be one of these defensive lines are going to get tired out, and then that's when the guy starts coming in. Hitting Saquon Barkley all the time, and he taking the hits can weigh you down. So that's why I said this is going to be like a heavyweight fight because you got two defenses that are just Super Bowl type defenses, except the secondary with the Giants. I don't think are as good as the Jets. But as far as the front end,
I don't think the Giants are. Go ahead.
They're as far as the front end, they're just as talented as anybody in the NFL. So this is going to be a heavyweight fight with this team, and it's been who wears down first. But Saquon can explode and take over a game at any point.
Absolutely.
You give that guy a whole. He's just he's instant offense. Yeah. I'm just telling you, like I said.
He's their Breece Hall. He's really their Breece Hall. You know what I'm saying? He was their Breece Hall before Breece Hall was the Jets' Breece Hall. You know what I mean? Saquon's been doing things over there with the Giants for a long time, and he's been really good. Yeah. And I'm concerned about him. I'm absolutely concerned about him, not just running the football, but coming out of the backfield catching the football. But, Chris, before I let you go, because we got other callers I got to get to, give me a final score prediction. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
People ain't going to like this, right?
Uh-oh.
But I think the Giants win this game 16-13. And I think Zach will
16-13. Wow, 16-13, and he says Zach kicks himself back. Wow. You are the first caller tonight to take the Giants, Chris. You speak in your mind. Listen, I got to slide off. Next time I respond, I want to hear from you. Listen, Chris. Chris is the first caller tonight. First Jets caller tonight that took the Giants. I'm a little shocked, okay? We'll keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We'll get to BK in a second. We'll come to you just next, my friend. I'm going to be talking to you. Now, I got to go to the chat really quickly. GVH says, Joe, I know you like Becton, so I'll put this to you. Sign Becton, Huff, or Mosley, knowing that we have an A-Rod hit coming up, maybe a conversation for the offseason, but it fits in with the topic. We were talking about that earlier. Listen, I hear you, G. I hear you. And but there's a lot of things that go into play with that. Again, signing Becton, you're going to be paying a lot of money for a solid starting left tackle. You're going to be paying a lot of money to do that. Huff, oh, brother, if y'all think he coming cheap, let me tell you, he's not. He's not coming cheap, right? Especially if he continues the production that we've seen out of him. I personally think that he's the motor that really is revving the engine of the New York Jets defense. His pass rush, the pressure that he's been able to put on, some of the things he's been able to do has really put some things together. That guy, I have him right up there with probably one of the, one of the best players on the Jets defense, period, right? The things that he's able to do is crazy from the, rushing the passer. Now, keep in mind, the New York Jets have struggled in the past having pass rushers. I remember at one point the Jets hadn't had a pass rusher since John Abraham. It was years ago. But now we see the emergence, again, of Huff. We see the emergence of Jermaine Johnson, all these guys being able to get after it. Huff is going to take a lot of money to get signed as well. C.J. Mosley, it's interesting that you bring him up. His contract, he's still here. They just reworked his contract recently. I think he's here through 2026. He's got a bunch of void years and stuff. That contract is crazy, and it's an albatross. Why? Because of garbage general managers like Mike McCagney. Wow. Listen, I love CJ, but he gave him a contract that is astronomical. And the Jets have worked that out. They've added some void years, try to work things out. But boy, oh boy, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough to get guys signed and figure things out. But again, we still got some other questions as well. There's guys coming up for contract. We got holes. And A-Rod, that hit's coming. That hit is coming. So it's going to be very tough to see what the Jets, are going to do. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Jets do. I will say that. It's going to be very interesting. So we'll keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. We'll come to other questions as well. Jay Clark, I believe, was the name. We'll come to your question in just a second. But we got to get back to these lines. We got to go to BK, man. For those of you that do not know, I'm going to BK. BK is a savage. BK salutes. We're talking that talk. I'm talking about the Giants. I'm talking about the Jets. I'm talking about the Jets versus the Giants. Got a lot of things moving and shaking. I'm looking at this Jets defense, and I'm wondering, how many sacks are they going to get against Tyrod Taylor? I think he's going to be the guy that actually starts. And I'm also concerned about Tyrod Taylor's mobility being an issue to the New York Jets defense. What say you?
Well, listen, man, I think that I'm looking at least 4.
You got to come closer to your phone. You got to come closer to your phone. I don't know if you have some headphones or you got some Bluetooth or something. Please turn that off and come a little bit closer to your phone. You sound far away. So please make the corrections.
Better?
As we continue to talk about this situation, say it again.
It's better?
Yeah, that's way better. Go ahead.
No, I was saying I think at least 4 sacks. At least 4. At least 4 sacks. I see this week. Yeah, man. Definitely.
Okay. So what are your thoughts about his mobility, man? Are you concerned that he's going to be able to utilize his feet and move the chains? Well, we saw that with Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I'm not that concerned, man. I think he's going to make some plays, but I don't think that it's going to be enough to win the game. You know what I'm saying? I really don't see that happening. I'll be surprised if it does. But he's going to make plays, but it's not going to be enough to win the game. The defense will win the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you look at the situation, you said the defense is going to win the game. How concerned are you about a guy like Darren Waller, man, and Saquon Barkley? Those are 2 big weapons they got.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about them because the way they play defense, first of all, they make good adjustments after halftime. They may make some plays, but they won't be dominant. I don't see them being dominant in the game. They'll make plays. They definitely make plays, but I don't see them being dominant. I don't see that.
Okay. What are your expectations of Zach Wilson and the Jets' offense? Right, they got to score some points. Do you think Zach comes out the bye and really, turns the page, turns the corner, really starts to air things out? Is that your expectations for him?
Well, it's going to run through the running backs. If they, definitely Breece Hall. They're going to get the tight ends involved because the Giants, they play good on defense, but I think if they get the tight ends involved early, they'll definitely be able to move the ball. So I expect them to get in the end zone at least twice. Twice. Yeah.
Okay.
I see that happening.
How many carries do you think we'll see from Breece?
You probably won't see no more than at the most 21 carries.
Okay.
That's what you probably will see because they might mix it up because their defense they do get upfield pretty fast sometimes, and they're going to make plays, so they're just going to make plays. But I think if they spread them out at times, get the ball to their tight ends, throw the ball to their running backs, and then also hand the ball off, they should be able to move the ball.
Wonderful. Listen, BK, before I let you go, man, give me your final score prediction. Jets, Giants, who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
Jets win the game. They win the game probably 24 to 9.
24-9, taking Jets. All right, listen. Listen, BK, I got to slide off. I got other callers.
Yes,
I want to
sir.
thank you for calling in, my friend. You have yourself a good one, all right?
You as well. Peace.
All right. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, we're low on time, so we're moving, all right, moving and shaking. You know how Blog Talk like to get after you, boy. Okay. Next, we're going to my guy, Tim. For those of you that do not know Tim, he's a savage. Salutes to you, Tim. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, my friend, a lot of talk here about the Jets-Giants. What are your thoughts? Do you think the New York Jets offense will come out fast against this Giants defense?
Yeah, I think they will. Absolutely. Why not, right? I mean, you know, they've, as Salah said, they've embarrassed the three best quarterbacks in the league through 6 weeks. So
Yep.
I don't think we'll have any problem with the Giants whatsoever. If we do have a problem with the Giants, then we have a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because
Listen,
there's no reason we shouldn't destroy them.
Tim talking that talk. All right. Well, so what are your expectations of Zach Wilson in this game? Are you thinking that, you know, he's going to be able to come out and maybe throw for over 300 yards? I mean, y'all sound like it's going to be easy peasy. What are your expectations, man?
I don't know about 300. I think Breece is going to go nuts. I think this might be Zach. I think this might be Zach's breakout game. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, the guy has played amazing against some of the best defenses in the whole league throughout the first 6 games. So. Yeah. You know, if we can just give him a game where he can finally get those longer pass looks that we need, we're going to be all set.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think he could have a 300-yard game just because our receivers are really great after the catch, right? Like if he can get what we've been seeing from him is a lot of back shoulder throws. If he can start to lead those guys a little bit more, like a yard and a half, 2 yards, you know, we're going to end up with so much yak and so many more TDs. So we just got to I'm not saying the back shoulder passes aren't necessary when you're playing a good defense, because they are. But, you know, when you have a defense that you maybe could take the top off of, he's got to start – I don't know if they practice this in practice or what, but he's got to start hitting Garrett Wilson in stride, either when he's going across the middle or when he's going straight up the end, because a lot of times he's coming back for the ball. By the time he catches it, you know, the defenders are on his back. He loses the option for yards after catch. So if – I fully believe Zach could have 300 yards in this game. He may not need to if Breece goes nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, listen.
They may switch the approach. You know, so we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit more conservative. But I understand the confidence that a lot of Jets fans have. I still think that the offense at this point runs through Breece Hall. Let's get him the football, open things up, you know, beat guys up, and allow Zach Wilson to come behind that, pick his spots, get the ball out of his hands quickly, concisely, and manage the game. That's what I want to see from Zach. I want to see him continue to be a solid game manager. I know other people don't like that, and I hear you, but that's what I want. You know, I don't want you to go out there and get a little too crazy, but we'll see. You know, especially coming out of a bye, this could be a game like everybody's saying, where Zach can really open things up. Now, quickly, as we go to the Jets defense, what are your thoughts about the threat that Tyrod Taylor poses, man? He's mobile. Do you think the Jets defense will be able to get pressure on him and get him down?
Oh, yeah. Tyrod Taylor, his weakness is his height. The dude has to scramble in order to see downfield. And I just don't see it happening. I feel like our defensive linemen have been able to close the pocket on some of the best scramblers in the league up to date this year. So unless Tyrod Taylor is better than Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, I think we're in good shape.
Yeah, or Jalen Hurts.
or Jalen Hurts. I tell you what, a lot of people, I don't know if you watched the media, Joe, after that week that they beat the Eagles, but a lot of people are suspects of him now. A lot of them. They're like, wait a minute. Is this one-dimensional?
Yeah. You know what's crazy? And this is, I always think that it's a shot at the Jets and the Jets team. And hear me out, y'all. I think it's weird how when we play people and make them look bad and beat them up, all of a sudden people start to talk about they're just bad. It's like, no, they're not just bad, okay? We're really good. Like, this defense is really good. And I always think, and I hear that, but I always feel like people are doing that because they want to take a shot at the New York Jets, even as subtly as possible. It's like, no.
I agree.
I agree. It's not Mahomes having an off day. It's not Allen having an off day. It's not Hurts having an off day, because it's funny that they're all having off days against the same guys in green. All right? No.
yeah, that's what a coincidence, right?
Yeah, what a coincidence. Everybody shows up here and they just think against this team. Oh, it's just bad luck. No, it's the bad news that we're bringing to them. All right?
Exactly.
So,
and I was arguing with somebody about when the week after they beat the Eagles, they came out with the power rankings. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And I think they had the Browns above the Jets. And I'm like, this is a joke. I was like, bro, seriously? Like, these guys just trounced 3 of the best quarterbacks in the league, got 8 interceptions off of them in the first 6 weeks, and they're not even in the top 15? Come on.
Yeah. Mind-blowing.
Give me a break.
Mind-blowing, Tim. Listen, Tim.
I know. They should be number 10.
Yeah, I'm telling you, but nobody's listening. I'm really low on time. You know how Blog Talk hates on your boy. But
yes, sir.
Saquon Barkley, Darren Waller, how concerned are you about them as threats for the Giants offense? And then immediately, please, give me your final score prediction quickly.
I'm not concerned whatsoever. I think the way our backup cornerback stepped up last week has given us just this amazing depth in our defensive back zone, and I'm not worried about the defensive line at all. I think they're going to contain Barkley. I think they're going to contain Tyrod Taylor. And Waller, he's going to be their last option. And Quincy Williams is going to take his head off like second play of the game. So we're going to be all right.
Ooh. Talk that talk. Give me your final score.
All right, score 24-7, Jets.
Ooh, okay. Tim, thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
You got it, brother. Have a great night. Go Jets.
Thank you. You have a good one, too. Go Jets. Listen, we're getting low on time quickly. I'm looking at this game, and I'm saying to myself, I think the New York Jets offense is going to come out, patiently move the ball, and I think they're going to make things happen, okay? I think we're going to get into the end zone, rectify some of the issues that we've had in the red zone, and be able to put up some points. I'm a little concerned about this offensive line. This Giants defensive line is really good. And I know people think that they're trash, but, I think they're pretty solid. We got to run the football with Breece Hall. We got to get after it. And I want to see Garrett Wilson and these tight ends get some more catches, man, especially these tight ends. I think that this is a game where we could really get the tight ends involved here. Defensively, we got to get after Tyrod Taylor, who I think is actually going to be the starter. I think Danny is still going to be dealing with that neck injury. I think we'll be able to get after him. I think Bryce Huff is going to have a game of games. I'm telling you, I think he's going to go crazy. Jermaine Johnson, I think, is going to have a solid game. Quentin Williams is another guy I think is going to blow things up. And I think we'll keep Saquon under check. We'll keep him in check, but, we won't totally shut him down. I'm very concerned about Darren Waller, though. So with all of that said, Jets win. I'm taking the Jets. I'm taking the Jets to beat the Giants 24-14. 24-14, I'm taking the Jets, all right? All right. Listen, I got to wrap things up quickly because y'all know how Blog Talk be hating on your boy. Y'all hear him. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love hearing the feedback from everybody, and I love going back and forth with y'all. I'm also on Twitter as well, okay? Go on over to Twitter. Type in @The Long Beach Joe, @The Long Beach Joe on Twitter, okay? Go ahead and follow your boy. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I'm the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times, Blog Talk is hating on your boy, all right? He'll be back soon enough, and he'll be ready to go. I'm on YouTube, too. Going over to YouTube, type in Long Beach Joe Jets, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. If you want to troll me, get in those comments, and I'll go back and forth. And there's always people, when you see me in person, okay, because you will see me in person, even if Blog Talk is hating. It is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone, okay? Hugs will always remain free no matter what anyone says. Okay, the hugs will always be there. I want to thank everyone for connecting with your boy, talking to your boy, any way that you interact with the show. All right. I want to thank y'all for doing that, okay, and especially, again, my folks from overseas. And, again, Susie G. Komen Foundation, I want to thank Laura Pointer for coming on tonight, talking with us about that. Please get involved with the fundraiser page that I have and everything we're doing with the Susie G. Komen Foundation. Until the next show, you folks have a good one. Peace.